Okay, I would like to bring this meeting to order at 9:04 on Thursday, July 2nd. I would like to start this meeting of the Central Coast Regional District by acknowledging we operate our services on the unceded ancestral territories of the Heiltsuk, Wikanup, and Nuxalk Nation peoples, as well as the Kitasoo, Hehais, and Algacho nations. We honor our relationship with these nations. I'll begin with the roll call of directors attending. We have Director Steve Emery representing Area A, Director Travis Hall representing Area B, myself, Jamie Kennedy, representing Area C, Director Lawrence Northeast representing Area D, and Director Leslie Harstead representing Area E. Great to have everybody today. Wonderful. First off is the adoption of the agenda. I believe that we have a late item. Is that to add? Yeah. And
oh, yes. Yes, Chair Kennedy, there's one late item related to a grant we're wishing to pursue.
Okay, so we will put that. Where should we put? Is that already on there? On the?
No, it's not on there yet. You can put it under
Okay.
13.1 if you like.
Sorry, what was that?
So you can do it under 13.1 or under public works.
Okay. So we'll put that under 13.1, and that's a verbal report. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, great. I will make a note so I don't forget. Any other late items brought forward by the board?
Not for me.
All right, hearing none, I'm looking for a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Director Hall, seconded by Director Northeast. Oh, did I hear something else? All in favor? Great. Okay, so next is the minutes from May 28th. Does anyone have any comments, questions, or amendments for those minutes? I'm looking for a mover for the May meeting minutes. Moved by Director Hall, seconded by Director Northeast. Beautiful. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right. Great. Moving right along. So executive reports are next. I've got a quick one for you today. And then we'll move through directors in alphabetical order. So yeah, great time of the year to be on the Central Coast. As mentioned before we started, I really wish I could be in Ocean Falls with the rest of the CCRD staff as well as directors. I've been looking forward to this for so long, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't join you there. It's such a beautiful community, and yeah, I'm really sad about missing the opportunity. I would also like to welcome Mr. Prime to our team. We have a new staff member joining us. Hello. I'm sorry also that I haven't had a chance to meet you. I hope that, yeah, we can chat soon. But I hope that, yeah, I hope that everybody's giving you a warm welcome. It's a good start.
For sure. Oh, here you can see me.
Hi, there you are. Wonderful. And so yeah, also lots of other exciting things as well. The swimming pool is open. It's been so fun to see people enjoying the Centennial Pool. In my other, wearing my other hat, I work at the high school, and it was really amazing to see how excited the kids were to be able to be enjoying the pool. And you know, we had some beautiful weather in June. So huge thanks to staff, our operations department, as well as the pool staff for getting the pool off to a great start. Lots of really great energy there, and really exciting for the community. Speaking of exciting community events, the FIFA watch parties have been going on, and it has been so much fun and a great boost. So thank you to Ms. Bystead and to our staff as well for getting that off the ground, and that has been super fun. Farmers Market, of course, is back. That's a lot of fun in the Valley on Sundays 10 to 1, and this past month, the directors and I had a meeting with the Minister of Citizen Services, Diane Gibson, and the Minister of of State for Local Governments and Rural Communities, Brittany Anderson, about cellular connectivity in the Central Coast. And they were quite receptive. It was I felt like it was a great meeting. So more follow-up to come, but yeah, it was really great to connect with those ministers. I'm going to pass it over to your Area A Director, Steve Emery.
Not a whole lot to report. There was increase of tourism. Obviously, you see a lot more boats and stuff around. There was a Canada Day watch party for the football in Denny Island, and Ocean Falls had their duck days, which I didn't know was a thing, but there it is.
Wow.
That's all I have to report.
That's amazing. That sounds like a lot of fun. Director Hall, Area B.
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on in Bella right now. There's announcement, and they started working on the expansion for housing, 40 units, which is great to hear. It'll make it easier for people to move back into the village after they've gone away for school and whatnot. We're into another fishing season. Just want to express condolences for one of the elders and colleagues of mine for fishing, Murray Reed, passed away, and I just wanted to share condolences to the family. They're gathering this week, and it was a bit of a hard decision to come out here, but it's important to have these engagement sessions as well. This one's been planned for quite some time, so it's really nice to return back to the village and township of Ocean Falls. I was here, and I think I'm the only one of the last directors from the last meeting who attended Ocean Falls, and we had some tours and whatnot. Not much has changed, but it's, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. So I appreciate coming back here. We've had a number of fishing derbies in Bella locally run. I didn't get to go out, but they had a good time, and one was on Father's Day, and the other one was the past weekend. Yeah, look forward to seeing some of the students come back to the village to do their fishing seasons and their harvests and whatnot, and prepare for the winter. Not much else to say other than the FIFA, go Canada, go fans. For the FIFA, it's really good to see. My son got to attend one of the games in Vancouver, and they, oh my God, he was just blown away. The fans from other countries that are coming to these games, it's amazing that they're following their teams so closely and with so much energy. Yeah, that's about it for now, and I think anything else, I'll mention it later on. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Director Hall. Director Northeast, Area D.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I would just say this, that I have a very short report, and so I'm just going to lead with this. My time is fleeting for working with you and working for the community. My ship is sailing, as they say, and so I think I can regretfully admit that I'm not going to get to Ocean Falls. It was one of my things when I came out. My family has a history in Ocean Falls going back to the early 60s, and I have never been there. And so I was really hoping that I would be able to go, but unfortunately the universe conspired otherwise. And so if there's any chance anybody from Ocean Falls will see this recording, I have nothing but the most respect for you and the life you've carved out there. And I hope moving forward that working with all levels of government and First Nations, that you will be able to move forward and create the community that you want and that you deserve. So good luck, everybody, and take care. As I said, for my report, I don't really have anything to report now. So I will get out of the way and we can move on to the next person.
Thank you, Director Northeast. Director Harstead, Area E, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to say I'm very happy to be here in Ocean Falls and meeting some of you. It's my first time traveling on the Northern Seawolf. So that was a great 10-hour ride over here. And yes, I have been in Ocean Falls a few times over here. It's flying in here, but this is my first time, walking around the community and meeting people and stuff like that. So thank you for hosting us. And I missed the last meeting, but in the recent past, I attended the Directors Forum and also ABICC at Victoria. So that was really great. There was some really good workshops, informative. One of them was the implications of the Caution decision, so which lots of people were talking about. So that was great. And recently, some of the residents have been complaining to me about the condition of the Highway 20 up to the bottom of the hill there. So yeah, and I think we're going to talk about that at some point. And yeah, just really happy to see that we have an AED machine for Walker Island. Yeah, that we received through the FIFA money, I think, was it? And what else is I going to talk about? I recently went to Wells for the Arts Wells Music Fest, and that was really great. And there were some people from our community of Bella Coola there performing, Rose and Buddy, and so got to see them, and that was really fantastic. And a couple of the groups are coming to Bella Coola for our music fest. That were great too. So, and that's about it. Yeah, for me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Director Harstead. Yeah, all good stuff. Okay, so we'll move on to the 2026 grant and aid recommendations. So first is the allocation of the funds. We have a large number of requests this year. So maybe we will kind of run through what the options are for allocations. We've been given a few options there, but I don't. Would it be Ms. Shad or Mr. Slingerland to run through our options?
I will get Ms. Shat to do it in just a moment.
Sure.
I'm looking through a little tech support item. Can I help in any way?
No, I just have it set up on 3 screens and it, the share button's on that screen.
Okay.
So it was a little hard to get to. So are you wanting to go through the applicants or just through the options for dispersal?
I'm thinking just the options for dispersal, but if other directors would like, a different, to have a different idea, then jump in, anyone. But I'm just thinking because there's a couple of different options and because the fund is so oversubscribed, that maybe we can talk about the columns there in that chart. And I guess, yeah, I mean, we can decide where we want to go from there because, yeah, we've got a little bit of money and a lot of need or requests. So if you don't mind.
Totally. So there's 2 main options. One is everybody gets a little bit of something and some of the smaller fund requests get filled, which is the first column is everybody just gets a little bit of something. And then the second column is the smaller requests get funded up to $750 of their request. And then everything else is split, which would mean the bulk of the requests would only get a little over $1,200.
Right.
The other option is to fund the requests completely under $1,500. I think there's 4 of them. And then you can fully fund up another full requests. Wow, 4 requests. And then there's a partial request available at $2,360. And the other ways you can divvy it up however you like.
Right. I do like the idea of the smaller requests being filled because I think often people will ask for the maximum, which kind of makes sense. But if the smaller requests, if we could fill those. So I mean, and other directors thoughts on this before I take over.
Yeah, just one question. So is that are you, Chair Kennedy, are you looking at the 48.5% column with those amounts under it?
Yeah, I was kind of considering that, and then this chat also talked about like anything under 1,500 option. I mean that's a possibility too, but yeah, that was the one I was kind of considering, and then we can kind of go through and look at if there's anything individually that we want to change. Director Hall?
Yeah, just curious too, with regards to the history of allocating our funds that have been allocated to if there's a lot of repeats, maybe do more fulsome circulation to other organizations. I know that the nation has a language committee. They have Granny's Kitchen that feeds community members as well and distributes. It's up to just 2 meals per house, which is, I mean, it's so significant when the cost of things is. And I'm just saying that to maybe circulate for the outer coast, and I think that we need to understand that some of them have been given funds in the past.
Yeah, and I think that, like it is also important to keep in mind that some of these organizations that have been given funds in the past really rely on those funds as, as far as to continue. And like I know the Arts Council, they tend to have a request in, it's always $500 or something along those lines. And they're an organization that have been, continuing to rely on that funding. So yeah, there's a lot to weigh out, like you're saying, but I think that if it's a tough decision.
But those Granny Kitchen and stuff still have to apply for the funds, so it didn't look like they applied for anything.
Yeah, some of them are, I mean, they're related to other organizations there that just because they hadn't been granted in the past, they refused to kind of apply now. So it's kind of it's a tough situation to be in when we're trying to encourage people to also look for certain funds in certain locations, like.
But they still have to put their application in.
Yeah.
You're not seeing my point, but anyway.
Director Northeast?
Yeah, I have a question about option 2. Fund the smaller requests, 1,500. Okay, I understand that part. And up to 4 requests in full. I think I understand that. And if I was going to go down this path, I would try to pick one for each of the 4 main communities that we represent. But the last part, and partially fund an additional request up to 20. Is that a single request or is that the rest of the requests?
So no, that would be a single request.
Okay, I understand. All right. Okay, option 2 is not so appealing to me now. So, okay, that was my question.
And so with option 2, I think we would, fund the smaller requests, 1,500 and under, and up to 4 requests in full. So like you said, I think that's a good idea to look at the areas that are receiving the funding and then partially fund 1. But then the rest of the funds would be equally, I'm thinking, distributed amongst the other groups that have put in for requests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I would say split area A and the Outer Coast area B, get the money that they're asking for. There's only 3 places, and then divvy up the rest for the valley.
Okay, and then as far as smaller requests, would you want to go with the 750 number or the 1,500 number?
Okay. 390.
Yeah.
1,500.
1,500, yeah.
1,500.
Okay. So we would fund the Outer Coast requests up to the full amount. And the other requests we would divvy up and fully fund anything under 1,500 and under. Is that
Does it
Mr.
math?
Prime, does that sound good for a resolution? I'm gonna
Will you any
defer
have
to
to
you.
calculate this out?
I just need a minute.
Give us a second as we ferociously do math.
Oh, yes, the ferocious calculator, yes.
Council. Firefighters. Norwegian Heritage Line. So by my math, that leaves you guys 5,860 to distribute among the rest of them.
How many-
Okay,
How many would that cover?
That would cover, like, how many would that need to cover, or how many?
Yeah, how many would be left, like, how would that 5,000 be distributed, like, between how many organizations?
Up to two. 8, 9 more.
So less than 1,000.
Mhm.
You want to read out the organizations that would receive funding under this
Okay.
model?
So the way that it's set up so far, who's receiving funds is the Coola Valley Arts Council, the Ridge Riders, DICTA, the Ocean Falls Growth Society, the Norwegian Heritage Society, and then SHED, which is the Social Health and Economic Development Society of Coola. They provide legal support to Area B.
right, so quick question, so if we divvy up the rest of the funds, will the other organizations be getting less than the folks who will be getting the full amount then?
Yes.
Okay, well then I guess we should probably do that. As like a punishment for asking for more, or like, I think because we want to still, so what if we, sorry to do this to you, Ms. Shad, but what if we did the 750 number and then but still funded the outer coast ones to the full amount, and then so let's say if we went with the 48.5 column, but we funded the outer coast ones, so all of the other that 12, 14, 54 would go down, but it wouldn't go down below 750, I'm thinking. Director Northeast, do you have your hand up, or is it just
No,
yeah,
no.
okay.
I'm good.
So just so that I'm clear, you want to fund the smaller requests up to 750. And then the outer coast requests to the full.
Yeah.
And then you want to divide the rest among the others.
That's what I'm thinking if the board agrees.
Yeah, I can live with that.
That means all of the other requests would get $734 and change.
Oh, boy. This is hard work. Yeah, this is hard.
I have a question for you, Chair.
Go ahead,
Um,
Director Hall.
And maybe administration staff will probably have the answer in terms of how long this fund has been at this level. Maybe potential increase to it somehow, applying for grants from the government and some of those pockets.
Through the chair.
Yep.
I can answer the questions. I'm not, at the moment, we're not aware of any kind of grant opportunity. These services are bought through taxations from property owners to distribute funded to the community members.
So we don't want to increase that.
Yeah, and board already made decisions.
Just for future discussion, that's all I'm asking for.
So a few years back, the board made decisions to cut down the taxation a little bit in the service to reduce taxation level, and then since then maintains similar level for a few years in a row.
Well, it's definitely a good fund, I mean, for what it can help in the areas that it does. Thank you.
Okay, so how can we make this Valley Youth Sports Association? Yeah. Go ahead, Director Harsett.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if, so the ones that we want to fund fully at their original request amount, can we cut those back a bit just to shore up the lower amounts? Like not a huge amount, but.
So which ones, sorry?
The ones that we were talking about funding fully, right? Yeah, can we cut those ones back a little bit? And then so that we can give a little bit more money to the lower, the ones that are only at 734 right now?
Right, yeah, that.
I think we have, we don't have that much opportunity to put money in on the outer coast of the
Right.
project, so.
Yeah,
So I don't think we did much last year at all, and we put in probably 40% of that money in the first place.
right.
And historically, too, the outer coast and Denny Island haven't received much of this fund for quite some time.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
understood. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that keeping that allocation is important. And then, I mean, we could just divide it up equally amongst who's left and not even worry about the request, and like just everybody gets the same amount. Because it will end up being about just below 750, I'm guessing, if it's like.
Just other than the Valley Arts Council and the community cleanup, they would get their regular amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the chair, the community cleanup has already been allocated. It was already paid out. You guys released it meeting before last, I think.
So that's what I mean, like, so the community cleanup they would get their 390.
They've already got it.
Because they already have.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, if we just allocated, and like we could even, I mean, I don't know if we, if the nations, if that they also fall into that, like if we just took all of those organizations and gave everybody the same amount, it is kind of where we're ending up anyways. But so it would end up being like 777, or whatever. We could do it that way and everybody gets the same except for the outer coast, or I'm up for suggestions otherwise, if whatever you guys think.
Sounds good. Chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
So-
what the other councils, but
So what we're saying is Bella Coola Valley Arts Council will get their 500.
Yeah.
And then the Bella Coola Community Cleanup, who already have 390, will already have their 390, and the rest will split between, so
The,
Outer Coast will get theirs. Oh,
sorry, through the chair, the New Hawk already have their distribution and
Oh,
the Bellicville cleanup. That's why there's 1810 or 110 to distribute.
Right.
Is because
Okay.
that accounts for everything that's already been distributed.
Right, okay.
Okay. Okay.
so I guess whatever we have, we just split the rest down the middle and everyone gets a little bit of something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that sounds fair to me. Um,
Oh, Jamie disappeared.
Just a very little.
Just sounds really quiet.
okay. So, yeah, so is that clear if we make that motion?
So just to make sure that I have it, you want the 500 to go to the Arts Council, the 1,000 to each nation, and then everything else is divided? Or were you wanting to include the nations in the division?
So if we take the Outer Coast out and then just split the rest up. So you already said,
So the
New Hawk.
New Hawk or Wickenow?
New Hawk already,
New Hawk. So then I guess the two nations will get their 1,000 and split the rest up.
okay, so the Arts Council, the Dicta, Ocean Falls, and Shed would all get theirs. Then the two nations and everybody else would be split equally.
Sorry, Shed.
Sorry, Shed is in the table is the Bellicula Legal Advocacy.
Oh, okay.
They provide legal support to Area B.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Okay. Sorry, I was confused. That makes sense. Okay. So yeah, if that works with the board, then we can move forward if. Yep, is that a question or?
No, I'll make that motion.
Okay, moved by Director Harstead and a seconder. Seconded by Director Emery. Any further discussion? All in favor? Yeah. Any opposed? Seeing none. Okay, great. Yeah, that's always a really tough decision because it is so oversubscribed. So we have amazing the volunteer groups in our communities and nonprofits, and so yeah, really tough choices to be made there. Okay, so next, moving on to to the administrative update. Mr. Slingerland, could you just give us a quick run through there?
Absolutely. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
So staff have been busy this last little bit. So we've gotten the UVCM requests, the meeting request submissions completed. The spring newsletter was distributed. We finished off recruiting for the fire chief and the corporate officer. Corporate officer with us today. Thank you very much for making the trek. The finance department has finished the SOFI, Statement of Financial Information, and is also finishing up some of the billing for the water and fire services and getting supporting the operations at the pool. Public Works and Operations has also had a busy time, so supporting a bit of the cleanup in the valley with the New Hawk, doing a bit of a cleanup, as well as attending the major appliance recycling roundtable. The exciting news coming out of that. The Centennial Pool, as you are aware, is in operations, and we're thrilled to be welcoming people to the pool. We've had some schools come through, which is exciting, getting that sorted. We've gotten some data on the water system that's in there, regarding how we're doing. Doesn't look like we've had a huge amount of leaks, which is nice. And we've had a busy time on the emergency management side. So we had a live exercise So we had some emergency response exercise take place, as well as a emergency preparedness fair on May 2nd, just to kind of get the community prepped for coming fire seasons. There's a fair amount going on there. Economic development, we've seen a number of grants go in. We've been successful with our Aging Communities grant, and the LGDAP has also been successful, and we're waiting on one piece for the UBC 911. And then as well, we've gotten the FIFA watch parties, and then there was a nonprofit board fundamentals workshop that we were able to facilitate. So that part of things has been good. We've got a list of some of the board directions staff are working on. Staff will be returning to the board. On the last meeting, the board requested information related to data centers in the Central Coast. That is still being developed, so that will be back in front of the board soon. And then the one item I would like to get a bit of additional clarification from the board, just finding it now, is the resolution to engage with the province on boundaries. The province is going to want us to articulate exactly what the board is looking for. So I was hoping the board could give us a more robust resolution in regards to what exactly you mean, because the way the resolution is worded, it could mean, are we looking to move the boundaries within the CCRD? Are we looking to partner with a different, we're talking about a more of a merger situation? So I'm just looking for the board to round out exactly their intentions with that resolution, as it's something that we're going to be coming up against in future discussions with the province, and I want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Director Harstead?
Well, was, just wondering, Chair Kennedy, was that at the May meeting? Because I'm not remembering this resolution.
So on page 8 of the administrative report, that staff bring information to the regional district. The staff bring information on the regional district boundary review to focus on effective representation of rising cost of services. I think that was.
Oh, so it was that meeting.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. We've started conversations with the province just on setting initial meetings, and they're wanting to know, are we looking to merge with Caribou or Waddington or North Coast? Are we looking to move some boundaries around with internally? If we could get a bit of a broad scope of what information you're looking for, as it's a lot of rabbit holes and
Yeah, I feel like ideologically Mount Waddington makes the most sense. Logistically, it would make the most sense to split our regional district, and Bella Coola joins Caribou and Bella Bella joins Mount Waddington. That breaks my heart, though. I don't want to do that. I feel like Bella Coola is more like, aligned with Mount Waddington, and so that I think is personally how I would like to see it happen down the road, just to save governance costs and redundancies. Like, as we all know, there's a lot of we're all singing the blues about how much our taxes are, but I feel like that merger of those two regional districts would make the most sense for us, but I'm open to what the board thinks.
Yeah.
Director Hall.
Yeah, I wouldn't want any changes due to the fact that if we join any of these other organizations, we're going to be a much smaller fish in a bigger bowl. We'll have less of a say. We'll have more votes against us. We've discussed this merging with the outer coast, area A or area B merging with Mount Waddington, but that same idea had come up where we would have maybe one vote where we would not get heard. We see this from the outer coast, at Central Coast Regional District when we're dealing with stuff like capping the landfill. These huge decisions that were made similar to that are trickled down to us where we have to comply, and then we don't have the same voice. I've actually I didn't mention earlier on my report that I'm also the area association rep for ABICC, where I'm a director at large. And we want that organization also in the bigger organization to have a voice. So we try to get our membership in those to have the smaller communities' voice heard at these larger organizations where they have giant numbers of people voting in their areas when we have very few people voting in our areas where we need the voice to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Hall. Director Northeast.
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank Director Hall for his words. I share many of those same concerns about being, you know, the little fish in a really big pond, and whether the needs of our regions and our constituents would be heard effectively in that situation. That said, I'm also well aware of the pressure that upper governments, senior governments are putting on us to comply. I love how you put that, Director Hall. You know, comply with these statutes and regulations that come from so far away and leave us with, you know, some money. You know, go fix this. Go bring this in line. So it's sorry, there's a truck going by. So it's a balancing act. And a good example is the 911 issue. There are many, you know, we hear from a lot of people, they talk about, you know, well, that would be good, but how much is it going to cost, and is it worth it, and all that sort of thing. So if we are as we are, we know that it's a challenge to balance that, you know, the desire for needed services in a cost-effective way that doesn't impact the tax roll too much. All that, it's just one microcosm in that whole thing. So two last points. One, I got to admit, I identify, even down here, I identify with the coast, the people of the coast, the identity of the coast, the culture of the coast, the geopolitics, the economy. My brain is wired, no disrespect to, you know, the caribou. I'm wired to think of the Bella Coola Valley as part of the coastal system. So if it were up to me, and we investigated and felt this is not just what we thought, but the rest of the community was on board, I would prefer a wholesale move to a coastal region. And at least, you know, addressing Director Hall's concerns, we're not quite such a small fish. We're just a little bit bigger fish than if we split up into two regions and 3 regions. Anyway, last point. Wherever we go with this, we are too small of a group to really make this decision. It needs to be something that the community has a clear path to, all the communities in all the regions, to express how they feel about it, not just whether this is a yay or a nay, but how we would divide, where we would go, and that sort of thing. And I think that's all I need to say on the matter.
Thank you, Director Northeast. Mr. Slingerland, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We're just at the stage where we're just preparing to get the board more information. So there's no decision to be made at this point. We're really, really early stages. We just want to make sure that, you know, when the ministry receives this request, they are going to look at it and go, is your board behind this? So I need to provide them, here's the resolution of what they're looking at. And then we will return to the board with additional information. The decision and the decision metrics will have to be quite a few months down the road, to say the least. And it may be something that the ministry may fund a study. And then really it'll be a next board consideration. And there will be, if there is a path, the ministry will help us lay out what that path and decision making looks like, which I imagine will have a bit of community and electoral assent required. That said, it is very early days and we're just trying to get you the information you've requested.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead, Director Harstead.
Yes, Chair Kennedy, thank you. I just wanted to say I tend to agree with Director Hall about being cautious about this, certainly not without a really fulsome discussion amongst the board members, and also a much greater understanding of all the implications that would come with doing something as big as this. So yeah, yeah, I kind of like that we can have decisions made at our local level that impact all the people that live in our communities. So yeah, that's where
So
I'm
like
sitting with
Mr.
this.
As Mr. Slangerland just said, this isn't about actually joining, it's about getting information about it. So that's what we're
Right.
talking about, is getting information on like what is it that we're getting information on. So this isn't yes or no, this is like, what do we
Yes.
want the information on? And so, yeah, like, I think, like he said, that this isn't going to be just a decision that happens around our table. I think like I brought it to the table because although you know, it's good to have our own voice, at what cost? Like what cost are people willing to pay for that, right? When all of our funding like all of our taxation ends up going into governance, and then like what is left for our voice? What is left for advocacy? What is left for the other work that we're doing? And is it worth having, like, where has it kind of got us, right? So those are the kinds of things that I just want to be thinking about when we are like looking for information from the province, not by like giving up our, you know, identity as a regional district necessarily. But like looking at like, how can we cut costs? It's only getting bigger. And like around this table, I know there's a lot of people who don't like tax increases. I don't like them. Like we don't like them. So what can we do to actually decrease them in a tangible way that is impactful? And I think that this discussion is like a really good start of saying, hey, like, what are our options? Because right now we don't even know what they are, right? Like we don't know what that means to change boundaries. So I don't know. I think that for me, like as far as the intention goes of like why I brought it forward would be a resolution, something like the staff bring information on a regional district boundary review, and like to like join regional districts with Mount Waddington was kind of what I feel like, you know, is something that makes sense to find out more information on, to address the rising cost of services or something along those lines. But yeah, if the board wants their information on something different, then we can go a different route. Director Hall?
Just some historical information as well as recent history with regards to Central Coast Regional District. Unfortunately, Bella was not included really in the internal area map of my area. Unfortunately, when it moved from here, I believe, to Bella Coola Valley, it was a little bit more difficult for Bella leadership to make it to Bella Coola to assist in, you know, developing these lines within our area. Two, the recent history is that Central Coast Regional District developed a document was titled Financing Reconciliation, and that in that it reflected what happened in the East Coast with the collapse of the cod fishery, where that province itself asked for assistance from the rest of Canada and was granted that assistance. The issue that we have here on the outer coast, of course, is we're not coupled up next to a municipality that assists us with these funding opportunities, and the taxation requisition that will go to help all of the programs and organizations and even improvement districts within those regions and municipalities. So that document was called Financing Reconciliation to kind of present it and ask the government of the province of BC, would you consider this type of assistance for the Central Coast Regional District? Because we're one of the only, if not the only regional district that doesn't have a municipality next to us for that bigger picture assistance in these programs and whatnot. So those two things, just wanted to get out there that, you know, if any big changes attaching to another municipality or a regional district like Mount Waddington or Caribou, that will change the dynamic out here too extremely, I think. So yeah, just a couple of things there. Appreciate your thoughts and consideration to these comments.
So the question at hand is just to direct Curtis to this is what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as, you know, that the board of directors of the Central Coast Regional District include looking at, you know, joining or merging with other regional districts in the area to create economies of scale as part of the additional information
Right.
you requested.
And I would make that motion and maybe just add that it would be probably included any kind of cost savings or expenses that we would occur doing that.
Yeah, and you could also throw in and that request that the province fund a study.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
Yeah.
so that'd be a real big one, is to see if we can get them to fund all of the research, and then we can come back with a more fulsome thing, and the board can then have real information to chew on.
Right.
Yeah.
So do we have that as a motion? And
I would not support that motion. I would vote any other motion.
Yeah,
These are all the
Director
internal
Hall,
ones.
Director Hall, it is not your turn to speak right now. Right now, we have a motion on the table. Would you like to second that motion?
No,
Would anyone like to second the motion? So
Yep.
now I will second the motion, and now we discuss. We don't just jump in. So Director Hall, you have something to discuss on that motion that's on the table.
I just would like to not support that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Propose a second proposal eventually when this is done. to
Okay, then
just
we'll wait
re-examine-
for that. We will wait for that time. Right now, we're discussing the motion. So when we do the vote on the motion, unless you want to amend the motion, we are speaking to the motion. So if you want to amend the motion, we can amend it and then vote on that. Or once we've done with this motion, then you can do your proposal.
Okay, a suggestion, potential amendment would be to more examine the internal lines of within the regional district, not join with, I don't know how to say it or word it properly, but as an
Okay.
option to,
Okay,
Yes.
so to make an amendment to also look at the electoral area boundaries.
yes,
And so what would we be looking for that part? Because we're
That's
looking for
previously-
cost savings. So go ahead.
it's just stating as previously mentioned, how Healthsick was not able to attend most of these meetings when they drew the original lines once it moved to Bella Coola.
Okay. And so the amendment to the motion is that we would also look at electoral area boundaries within the regional district. So I need a seconder for is that correct, Director Hall?
Yeah, I think that,
Yeah.
that would fit within this,
I think there's a little bit more history to that too, and the health sec having.
Okay, sorry, Director Emery, we just need to just wait a sec because we
Okay.
had an amendment. Now we need to vote on the amendment. Would anyone like to second that amendment? Seconded by Director Harstead. Okay, now we're discussing the amendment. Go ahead, Director Emery.
I was just gonna say that, the health sec had, area B, put around the reserve as, how am I gonna say, so they can be inclusive in the area. And that was one of the very first, bands that actually got a seat on a regional district.
Right. having the electoral area the inclusive of the reserve. Director Northeast, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. My feed cut out. I am not aware of the original amendment and who made it. So if somebody could repeat for me the original amendment without the, sorry, the original motion, that's what I missed. If somebody could read that back to me, I'd like to know who moved it and what it says.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything.
Wait, I think that we've got staff. Is it Mr. Prime or?
I think I can just jump in. I think the original
Okay.
motion was moved by Director Emery, seconded by Chair Kennedy, and was that directed staff to look at adding to that request of the ministry, including mergers with neighboring regional districts, and requesting that the province fund such research. Yeah,
Okay.
if I may as well, just while we're here, actually, I'll hold off on my comment till this discussion with Director Northeast is over.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would just add, and I could be totally wrong on this because I've been, my information is probably old and outdated, but I believe Director Emery, who has made the original motion, needs to give his say-so to accepting the amendment to his motion. Like if he's fine with that, then it moves forward and we vote on the amended motion. So that's all. But again, this could be the old way of doing things, and maybe I'm just a dinosaur.
If I may,
Go
through the
ahead.
chair, consent is not required, but it goes through the same procedures as a motion. So amendment will need a mover, seconder, and a debate and vote. There is a bit of a concern that, and this is where I think we need clarification on the exact wording of the amendment, because it appears that either the amendment is an add-on to, we're doing this original work of studying it, requesting money from the province, and then adding on a category of an internal review, which is totally reasonable. Which we would need clarification on that for the amendment, or is the amendment completely negating the motion and having it just focus on an internal review, which an amendment can't negate the original motion. And then the original motion, the amendment would need to just be put aside. There would need to be a vote on the original motion, which was Director Emery's motion. And then if it failed, then the other motion could be advanced.
I think if I'm understanding, Travis wants an internal boundary
Review?
review.
Review.
I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Do you want that added on to the
We could
original
add that
works?
onto
Okay,
that, yes.
okay. So for that amendment, then we would just need, he's moved it, someone to second.
I'll second.
Director Harstead seconded it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
third.
okay.
And so for
Okay.
clarification, through the chair, sorry, Professor Prime here. And just to clarify, there was no language in the amendment that it was to not merge with other RDs, regional districts. There was no language for that?
Well, I thought that was the suggestion to explore merging with,
Yes.
and I believe his language was to say, was regional district Waddington, or sorry, Mount Waddington
Correct.
or Caribou mentioned? I'm not sure.
We
Maybe the
just left it
clarification.
vague because we'll let the researchers do their research and come back with
Okay.
the data.
Okay, so as the resolution stands now, we haven't voted on the amendment yet, but we can vote on the amendment. And I think one caution that I have with the amendment is I think that it should actually be two resolutions. I think they should be separate because there's like two different intentions behind them. Yeah, because like what I've been hearing from taxpayers is they don't like that the taxes are like drowning them, right? And so like I feel like there are two separate issues, like the boundary the electoral area boundaries are an issue. I'm not saying that they're not an issue. I just don't think that they that is the same issue as this other issue. So I feel like I just don't want the intention to get lost in some sort of internal thing that we have that's been going on, and to make it like to lose the like the intention of what we're looking for by reviewing the district boundaries. But anyway, so what we're gonna, so we will vote on the amendment, and then we will vote on the resolution. Is that right, Curtis? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So all in favor of the amendment? And those opposed? So that passes. So, okay, now we vote on the resolution as amended. So can someone read out the resolution for us?
Not easily.
All right,
You want me to give it a shot?
give it a shot.
Okay, through the chair, to the best of my ability, it's that the Central Coast Regional District Board of Directors include in the request to the province a study merging with other potential regional districts and to evaluate the feasibility and economies of scale, as well as, and that the province fund the study, and that amending electoral area boundaries internally be included in the study.
Okay, and then there's you said the part about the province paying for it, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then Director Northeast, go ahead.
Yeah,
And, sorry.
okay.
That should be worded more, and that the regional district request that the province fund the study. And yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank
All right.
you.
So this may be a point of order, and can be dealt with in a minute. I don't know what the answer is. So can we make note of my opposition to the amendment, and with an explanation that I believe that what Chair I support sort of what the intent, but I think Chair Kennedy's point about this being an issue that probably should be dealt with separately. I support it, but that's the reason for my opposition. And if that could be noted, I would appreciate it. So my question then is, even though I oppose the amendment, can I still vote for the actual? Okay.
Yes.
Is he actually for the amendment?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. And through the chair, the time to oppose the amendment would have been to vote for the amendment. So while it might be noted in the minutes, it wouldn't be an official opposition recorded in vote.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to drag this out any further, so that's fine.
Okay, so we will have a vote on the amended resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Great discussion. Yeah, looking forward to getting more information on those topics. Next, we have a request for decision for the appointment of our new corporate officer. As I said, I would like to welcome Mr. Prime, and I'm looking for a motion to appoint Mr. Prime as corporate officer. Moved by Director Northeast, seconded by Director Harstead. Further discussion? And is it Alcid?
Or Sid.
Prime.
Sid rolls off the tongue a lot better.
Okay, Sid, perfect. To act as corporate officer responsible for corporate administration. So I had a mover, seconder, all in favor?
We have one question from.
It's probably a question.
Okay.
All good? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So next is we're looking for a letter of support from the Bella Coola Ice Rink Association. So this report was submitted by Ms. Bystad on behalf of the association. They're looking for a letter of support. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions about the report? Or are we ready to move forward with a letter of support? Hello, Ms. Bystad, welcome.
Good morning, Chair Kennedy.
Good morning.
There aren't any questions. It is a fairly simple letter of request that the material has come before. And just to note, they have been invited to be a delegation at the July 23rd meeting, so they can speak further to the project at this time. But this is just to make sure they can get their letter of grant submission to NDIT.
Perfect. Yeah, if there are no questions, then I will ask for the resolution that a letter of support be provided to the Bella Coola Ice Rink Association for their NDIT grant application.
So moved.
Moved by Director Northeast, and a seconder. Seconded by Director Harstead. Any further discussion? All in favor? Great.
Aye.
Yay. Thank you, Ms. Bystad, for that.
Thank you.
Next is a report, an information report on the upcoming elections that are coming up so fast. Does anyone have any questions about this report on local general and school trustee elections? Nope. All right, we got all the dates there. That's great to have those all laid out. And so if anyone is asking any questions, you can direct them towards that information, and we will be advertising everything that is listed there. Yeah. Excellent. Next we have the legislative bill update Legislative Update Bill 9 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Amendment Act 2026. Any questions on this report? All right. Hearing none, we will move right along. This one is a request for decision. This report comes from the notice of motion from last meeting. About the cannabis retail regulations. So we've got a lot more information there. Now comes the time where we talk about where we want to go from here. Director Harstead?
Yeah, I just had a question, just reading through all the information. So it seems like there's a difference between the work that goes into producing a zoning amendment and producing a bylaw amendment, because later on it said something about the staff costs for researching and producing a zoning amendment. Is that, am I reading that correctly, Chris?
The zoning amendment would be, through the chair, a zoning amendment would be a bylaw, and we would have to do the same sort of work. I don't think the staff costs for producing, the will of the board, updating a zoning bylaw in a very specific area would be detrimental to operations. I think that there are some elements of this report that touched on some of the different options around. If the board put in place a policy, we have limited staff capacity to guide people. We don't have a planning department. We don't have a development technician. Some of those policies require a lot more engagement with potential applicants. So the recommendation is kind of the path of least resistance. That's if the board wanted to loosen up the regulations, that would meet our current capacity, which is on the development side, very limited.
Okay.
So there's three or four options under implications there. And then the recommendation is that the board of directors direct staff to prepare amendments to the Bella Coola zoning bylaw. Yeah, so the only other question I had was, so is someone approached us is looking to open a cannabis store or wanting?
On the staffer side, we get approached 3 or 4 times a year. This came through as a notice of motion from the chair.
Oh, I see. Okay. And yeah, I'm just assuming that we would be seeking input from the First Nations about this kind of thing too.
If there's a zoning amendment, then we would hold a public hearing and engage with and invite comment.
Director Northeast, sorry, I was reading.
Yeah, I'm reading too.
Reading.
Yeah, that's interesting. So as I understand it, somebody would make application to the Liquor Control Board if they wanted to set up something in Bella Coola. The Liquor Control Board would then turn to us and say, "Are you okay with this?" I guess my question is, if we are okay, if we're not okay, does it go forward? And I think I read in here that it would not go forward if we weren't, but I would assume we'd have to give a reason, like it doesn't fit our zoning or our economic plan. That's the part that I'm not sure about as far as determining the best option. What do they? Sorry.
Would through the chair, having just gone through this with the District of Clearwater, you don't really require any tangible reason, just in the opinion of the board that it's not in the best interest of the community, if that were the decision of the board at the time, based on public input at the time of the public hearing.
Well, if I,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, just to follow up on that what you just said. So we could just say it's not, and I'm not saying this is what I want to do, I'm just processing. So we could say it's not in our best interest at that time and leave it at that. Oh, I know. You cited a reference in Clearwater. Can you cite or point to any references of, like, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time and staff resources on this. Is there something, we used to call it boilerplate, can we lift a policy or a guideline regarding the establishment of cannabis stores from some other similar region to our own? Is that a possibility?
Through the chair, I don't know where you're going. Could you clarify a bit? Because we're looking to make it more usable. We've got some recommendations in front of you in regards to the zoning bylaw. We can, if the board wants to put in place a policy as well, we can absolutely put in place a policy.
Okay, so this is the backdrop to my thinking here. It's not just a matter of deciding, hey, let's have a cannabis shop or not. And there's the process is going to require time, money, and energy. So there could be people sitting on the fence that are saying, yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea of one, but I don't think we should be investing a whole lot of money in something that may or may not happen. So I'm asking a financial question related to our ability to, pay for the projects that we've got ongoing right now. In the options that are listed here, amending the zoning bylaw would provide a great clarity. So I'm just saying, okay, well, what are we going to amend it to? You've referenced the the fact that we don't have a bylaw officer, we don't have a department in this area. So whatever we do here is going to fall on our staff. Well, admin and our staff now. So maybe my question is moot. Maybe it's not needed. Maybe it's not appreciated. I don't know, but it's just the way my brain works. So I hope that gives you clarity.
Okay, the reason this has been brought forward is for residents to even begin the process, the application process is quite expensive. And so a resident kind of came to me and was looking for more information. I think one thing to keep in mind is like there is cannabis retail happening in our community, whether it's legal or not, right? So like yeah, and so this is not like, do we want to bring drugs into our community? It's like cannabis is regulated, and do we want to take down like some of the barriers of that application process? But we are not saying yes, we want cannabis stores to open. I think it's just a little bit about the barriers that exist in the process. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Slingerland, but that's kind of my understanding of this motion that's before us. Yeah. So I think that's where we're at with this. Mr. Slingerland, is there anything you want to add to that there?
Through the chair, the only thing I'd say is we do get a decent amount of individuals reaching out on a yearly basis, looking to get into that business and create that business. And the spot zoning that is currently, so the spot zoning structure that is currently in the zoning bylaw is cited as kind of the biggest barrier, as they have to look at a property, buy the property, then seek the rezoning, and then seek the regulatory license. It creates a lot of administrative and bureaucratic burdens. So if they knew that they could run that business in a commercial zone, it's easier for them to start the process. They could then pursue it as it would be permitted in a commercial zone, much like a liquor store or anything else.
Right. Yes. So
I'm just gonna say, so what you're saying is that we could change the bylaw to say that cannabis retail is allowed in, a commercially zoned area, C1 or C3 or whatever it happens to be, without the regional district having to do a bunch of research, but though that cannabis store in their application would still have to have public input, I believe.
Yeah, they would go through the ministry, and the ministry would come back to the board and go, is this something that you're comfortable with? It just removes that initial burden up front.
Yeah. Ms. Harstead or Director Harstead?
Yeah, sorry, so just, yeah, it's not that I'm opposed to this or anything, but I'm just trying to understand it better, but I'm wondering, what was I gonna say? So, like, normally when we get these kind of requests, it's usually they've gone, like, because it sounds like they have to go to the liquor control board or whatever first, right? If they're going to.
Where they would have to go under the current system is they would need a property where it's allowed. And right now, no property is allowed. They have to go see spot. So we've added a layer, a bureaucratic boundary barrier.
But, okay, that's my question now. So would we actually need to make a bylaw that specifically names the type of business though?
So we would modify the bylaw to, as Director Emery highlighted, we would choose a zone, find a zone, let's say C1, I'm pulling that out of the air. The planner would make the recommendation, commercial zone, let's say C1, for example, and it would add as a permitted use, it would add the permitted use of a cannabis shop. And then what we've done is said, this is where you can build them or run that business.
So cannabis would be added in that category, like, does it also say what other commercial businesses would be allowed under C1, for example?
It has all the zoning bylaws have a permitted use section, and it tells you what you're allowed to do in that zone.
So it's simply a matter of adding cannabis sales to it.
We're adding it to it. Right now, it's,
Okay.
we have a specific bylaw that says it cannot be in any
Okay,
zone
okay.
and it has to be spot zoned.
Yeah, now I understand, thank you. Yeah.
But it still does stop someone from applying to have something changed and some piece of property somewhere else if that's what they want to do.
Great. Yeah, my only concern would be somebody, this kind of, it's gonna cost a lot of money to the district, like planning and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know.
If we got a run of them, the current system is more expensive than the other system. Because we would have to do a zoning bylaw amendment, a zoning bylaw rezoning for every single property and a public hearing and notification for every single property. Now we remove that and it says you can do it here. The person can just go lease that property or buy that property and run that business.
Okay.
Yeah, and they still have to go through a lot of the hoops, but just not that different hoops.
So I probably make a motion for option one, and I guess at the next meeting, you would bring.
It's not a complicated bylaw. We can get it to you next meeting.
Okay. So that's the recommended motion that's in front of us here, that the Board of Directors direct staff to prepare amendments to Bella Coola Valley zoning bylaw number 553, 2024, permitting cannabis retail sales in certain zones subject to specified citing regulations and in adherence with the Cannabis Control and Licensing Act, and that zoning bylaw amendments be brought forward to the July 23rd, 2026 general board meeting for first and second reading, and that the board directs staff to prepare notification of a public hearing for zoning bylaw amendments to take place at the September 24th, 2026. Let's just say September meeting of the board. Does that work for you, Steve?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and a seconder? Seconded by Director Harstead. Further discussion? All in favor? Great. Okay, thanks you guys. Great. Moving right along. How's everybody doing? Does anybody need like a 5-minute break? Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm here seeing some hands. That's great. Okay, so let's take 10 minutes, because let's be realistic here. It's never 5 minutes. So right now it is 10:25, say. Let's come back at 10:35. Okay, so here we go, back on the agenda. So it's 10:39. We are back in business. Our next item of business is the September meeting. So right now we have the meeting scheduled. I think I guess it's like the 23rd or something, but that doesn't really make sense. And we're all going to be down in Vancouver. So we've got a few suggestions. There's one suggestion is 9 a.m. on the Monday, and another suggestion is on the Sunday. So thoughts from the board. I'll give you mine really quick. I'm easy with either of those, but I do prefer them to the following week. Those are preferable for me. If anybody else wants to add their calendar. Director Harstead?
I'm not attending that UBCM conference, so I will be in Bella, but so September 24th is fine with me, but I'm just wondering, is it going to mean extra cost, for example, an extra day of hotel rooms for everybody if we host the meeting down in Vancouver?
Nope. Because anyone who's in Vancouver will already be in Vancouver, I'm thinking. And like if we did it on Sunday, I'm thinking that might be a little bit extra, but Monday we will already be there, those of us who are going to be there. I don't think it means that staff would be going down there, like if they aren't already going down. Mr. Sutherland, correct me if I'm wrong on all of those points.
No, through the chair, no. If there'd be a fair contingent of us down there for that week. We'll have to move around some staff schedules depending on the days. Sunday would be a lot bit more complicated, as we'll have to pull staff in on a Sunday.
Oh, and Monday's a holiday too. Well,
we'll have to rework some staff schedules, so some people will get shifted. Again, it really depends, being that this is the last meeting before the election. I wouldn't expect any bombshells or any big items on it. It'll be required business that goes forward. It'll be very much pared down.
So it sounds like Monday's the better day.
Monday would be
And
the
that's
better
when
day.
people are flying in anyway.
We adjust people's schedules.
Yeah, usually we arrive on the Sunday in the past, because if we do arrive on the Monday, we miss like most of the day anyways. So usually when the rooms are booked, they're booked for the Sunday night onward.
Right, okay.
And often there's like the pre-convention things. So like I haven't signed up for pre-convention, but if other people have, then we can take that into consideration. But often it's like above, you know, there might be sessions or a tour or something that someone may have signed up for on the Monday. Or minister meetings, I guess, are also a possibility. But at this time, we don't know about that. So we would have to take a break if we had a minister meeting. So yeah, I like the Monday. The Monday sounds good, and I think that would be the least amount of shuffling around for staff. But other board members, or if anyone else has anything they want to throw in there, I feel like it's a good idea to have it before the UBCM instead of like as a you know, after the UBCM. But so yeah, I think moving it forward, or moving it is a good idea.
Okay, can I make that motion?
Yes, for the Monday at 9 a.m.
For the Monday, if it's not premature, yeah.
Yeah. So Monday, September 14th, we've got, what have we got? And that the meeting be held in a hybrid format with in-person participation in Vancouver and virtual attendance available, and the staff be directed to, book a suitable meeting room in Vancouver and coordinate all required logistical arrangements. Do we want that, or do we just want to do a full, I guess that's the other decision, is do we want to do a fully online meeting or an in-person element to it?
We've done Zoom in the past, for our rooms or whatever, that was fine. And
Yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah, is there anything, any specific reason for the in-person other than, yeah, that I haven't mentioned? No. Okay, so Director Northeast, as far as the motion goes, do we want to go with the date that we said, the time, and then held in a virtual format? Would you like to go forward with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I have a motion on the table, and I'm looking for a seconder. Seconded by Director Harstead. Further discussion? All in favor? Great. Okay, thanks you guys. Okay, so next is a report on the road maintenance standard. Does anyone have questions or comments? We asked for this, from staff last meeting, I believe, and this is a really interesting information. Comments, questions? And just as a kind of recap, we have initiated communication with the Ministry of Transportation about the repaving opportunities that are coming, and have expressed our concerns about the state of our side roads and things. Is that correct, Mr. Slingerland?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. If nobody has any questions or comments, then I will continue on. Oh, Director Harstead, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wonder if we communicated to the Ministry of Transport about how rough the road is between Haydensburg and the bottom of the hill. It's getting quite bad. So I just wonder if that was part of any of the discussions that went on.
Yeah, I did reach out to the area manager for the Highways and Transportation Ministry and expressed that, we've had these issues and problems, and they have a program in place, and they have been filling in those potholes. But I suspect that the next rainy season, those potholes will be back. So it's not really that robust of a repair job, but some of those big tank traps have been filled in.
And yeah, it was good to know that you can report, there's a website to report this stuff to Dawson Maintenance.
Yeah, so I have hoped to, there's one issue that we faced, an obvious one at one of the busy junctions between Highway 20 when it's 80-kilometer speed limit is right at the Airport Road junction in Havensburg. There's numbers of trees that really affect the line of sight from that junction. So I was going to try to use that reporting system to see if they respond. So, but I'll be doing that on the next day or so.
The one thing I noticed here, when we asked you to look at this, it was for the central coast, not just Coola, but we didn't get anything for the outside, and I guess it's too bad that we're not smart enough to read a contract, but that was part of the deal too, that we would get what the contract said, that we could figure it out, you know,
Right.
but yeah.
So my understanding of that contract is that those standards are universal to whatever roads are under that jurisdiction, whether it's in Coola or the Appliance.
Yeah, and like you say, that all roads have different classifications depending on how many cars and where it's located and whether it's paved or gravel. So
Yeah.
that's all makes a difference, but I guess we didn't, at least we don't see what the contract actually is and what they're supposed to do. So that's kind of what would be interesting to know what it is there is that exactly supposed to do in their contract.
Yeah, so the standards, they were a part of the attachment.
Yeah.
This information package and like
Yeah.
that is.
But it didn't have any gravel roads or anything on there, so they're a little bit different classification. Like I think we were class 5 or something up there, but or even 7, I think. But I didn't see anything here about the gravel potholes and grading and that kind of stuff.
Right. I can follow up with that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Sure.
Do you want to make Mr. Gernander, do you want a resolution from the board on that, or should we just go with a staff follow-up idea?
I'm fine with just staff follow up.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That's great. Okay, any other questions or comments? Perfect. Moving right along, we have a report on the Major Appliance Recycling Roundtable collection agreement for major appliances. This is exciting, very exciting. Questions or comments about this report? We are looking for a resolution that a collection agreement with Major Appliance Recycling Roundtable MARR for the collection and processing of major appliances at CCRD facilities, and that any necessary amendments to the solid waste disposal regulation bylaw be brought forward to a future meeting. Director Harstead, are you moving or are you have a question? Moving? Moved by Director Harstead, seconded by Director Northeast. Any further discussion? All in favor? Great.
Aye.
All right, great. That sounds like, yeah, great program.
Exciting.
Very
Thanks,
exciting.
Coola. That's awesome.
Woo. Yay. Yes, and thank you, Ms. Corlick, for bringing that forward. Next, we have the Coola Airport Improvement Fee Update. So this is requests to start dialogues regarding an airport improvement fee. Do we have questions, or would anyone like this report run summarized for us for the airport improvement fee update?
Is this,
Director Harstead?
so is this to increase the rates in 2026? And if so, is this part of the 2026 budget discussions?
Through the chair, so this report, previously the board in 2024 gave us, did a resolution directing staff to look at an airport improvement fee under the budget. staff are now recommending, just through multiple, and the report covers it, just multiple kind of how things have changed as well, both in our budget as well as now that we've learned a lot more about it, the complexity of putting in place these fees. The recommendation is that we not pursue an airport fee at this time.
Okay, so oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just to make sure I heard our CEO clearly. So the staff recommendation is due to the complexness and complications and that we not pursue an airport improvement fee at this time.
Correct.
Okay, I'd like to make that motion then, but I don't want to squelch any other discussion either.
So yeah, we have a motion by Director Northeast. Director Harstead, I saw your hand up. Was that to second or was that a question? Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, thanks everybody. Next. Okay. Next is the SAR lease request. So this another airport related topic, lease with SAR for some of the hangar space. So the recommended resolution is that the board of directors authorize the chair and chief administrative officer to execute the agreement with the Coola Valley Search and Rescue for a one-term and renewable for up to a maximum of 5 years following the required public notice period. That's the recommendation at this time, but if we have any questions, we can discuss the report. Director Harstead?
Chair Kennedy, just wondering, how will the notice be given, like, to the public? Like, what's that process?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Through the chair, we have a public notice bylaw that dictates how we do these. Any public notice, so we'll go on our website and it will go on Facebook, and if I'm not mistaken, it will go onto the community boxes in person. But Meg might have it.
So the public notice bylaw has it going on the board inside the office, the board outside the office, the website, and Facebook.
So on that public notice of property disposition, you have me confused partway down where it says you're going to get $3,000, but then in brackets it's $4,800 for year one.
Which
Am I reading something wrong here?
I just don't know which page.
Page you on?
This is the public notice of property disposition.
Oh, in the public notice.
The sum of three.
Yeah.
It's the 3,000 is a typo. The 4,800 is the correct number.
Yeah,
We'll correct that too.
We'll correct that.
That's why it's a draft.
Good eye, Steve. Wow, good eye.
Good catch. Thank you.
That's like inflation or different currency exchange or something. Okay, so other comments, questions? Is anybody ready to make the recommended motion? Moved by Director Northeast and a seconder. Seconded by Director Harstead. Any further discussion? All in favor? Great. Okay, thanks you guys. Next is 7.5 in our agenda. So it's a land referral regarding Neekas Creek. So how would we like to respond to this license? We can submit comments in support of the project, submit no comments, or seek additional information.
Is that in your area?
Yes, and Director Hall's thing.
The next year, can you guys start it then?
Well, I probably don't have an issue as long as the scientists have got it figured out that we're not taking the lake water from some lake that isn't. But they've got to be smart and they'll know all that. I have no.
Yeah. Director Hall, is there anything that you want to add here or comments?
Yeah, I just believe that, the Central Coast Regional District has supported the consultation with the Health Nation and the Hermit Office regarding anything that happens out there. And then also to add to that, of course, they supported New Hawk in terms of, if something happens in their territory, we can know as well. So just wanted to state that as long as there's that consultation process with the Hermit Office, also Integrated Resource Management Department. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So are we thinking that we will should direct administration to issue comments in support for both the Crown land tenure and water license applications? Is that where we're at? Yeah, is that a motion?
Oh, yeah, no, just an additional comment. In previous applications, we did also write that as long as you've consulted with the nation involved. So I don't know if we could add that as well.
Well, they heard the nation's putting it out.
Yeah.
So
Just as a regional district, for whatchamacallit purpose, just to have that statement on there.
I feel like if we put that statement in there, it'll sound a little bit cut and paste.
Well, it's them
because
that
we're sending it to the nation.
It's the health secretary
Yeah.
asking for the assistance.
But it's the regional district that I'm speaking from, so it's a different thing. Anyway, if you don't want to add it, that's fine.
Are you gonna make the motion?
Yeah. I'll move it.
Okay,
I'll
moved by
second.
Director Hall, seconded by Director Emery. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, next we're moving into section 9. So emergency management. So we have a regulatory update, OIC 186/2026. This is Emergency and Disaster Management Act, regulatory amendments and local authority requirements. Does anyone have any questions or comments about the update of EDMA?
For
So
me,
this is just a. What's that? Not you.
No.
Yeah, and also like if anybody wants a report run through or summarized, let me know. I'm just kind of assuming everybody's gone through these reports, and if there's any questions or comments, then we can bring them forward. All right.
Who's paying for all this?
All right, great question. I'll take just a second on this. So as there are changes in regulations and legislation, these have a downstream implication on the CCRD. And one of the areas I'm trying to what I'm trying to do here is bring these things forward, because a lot of the time we don't really bring them forward to the board. I think we should, because it just keeps you aware of, hey, look at these are the changes. So when you're in minister meetings, when you're starting to frame things, when you get to the budget, you can start to see the, shall we say, death by 1,000 cuts. Mm-hmm. And that EDMA one specifically has a lot of new responsibilities with not a lot of new funding. So as these changes happen, it's just to create a bit of awareness for the board as well as the public on what is the environment in which we're constantly having to change and adapt. So as these requirements come forward, something you can think about when you are, potentially in a meeting with the Minister of Emergency Management, mm-hmm. Climate Readiness, and get them to open up the purse. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, a good thing to keep in mind. And yeah, maybe a piece of advocacy work if we decide that that's the direction we want to go. Okay, so next is another information report on a legislative update. It's Bill M214, Firefighters Health Act, legislative overview and implications for CCRD fire services. Do we have questions or comments on this one? Director Harstad?
Thanks, Chair Kennedy. I'm just wondering if, yeah, this is the same as the previous information reported. Could be some financial implications downstream.
Yes, absolutely. So this was just they passed the bill, and then it will have a degree of it will impact volunteer fire departments. Any member over 10 years of service will be required to have some screening that we will have to pay for. So on the agenda package as well, the RDOS, I put in some estimates that the annual screening per firefighter who meets that threshold can be anywhere from $250 to $900, and it has for them a potential impact of I think it was 190,000. It's in the letter with their specific details in the correspondence, but it will have an impact on us. It may not have an impact initially, but there will be a downstream implication. Or we will be required to get those numbers screening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, these are really good examples so that we have an idea, like we always talk about downloading and yeah, what that means. And when asked, like what? Like these are, yeah, good examples. Yeah, often residents will ask for like specifics. So this is, thank you for including it in the report, in the agenda. Okay, so next 9.3, a request on decision to move forward on a landslide risk assessment for Martin Valley. So this, yeah, is a report from Ms. McDonald. Do we have Ms. McDonald with us today?
No, she's not online.
Okay, so yeah, if we have questions or comments, I'm guessing we would direct those to Mr. Slingerland. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, questions or comments on this report? Director Harstad?
Yes, so the ask is for $124,000. But it says the expenditure was not included in the 2026 financial plan. But Curtis, didn't you say that you just heard about some money that could be used?
So this is
that wouldn't impact her.
So we've gone to the province. We've been in dialogue with the province for quite some time on the risk assessment for the Martin Valley Slide area, and they've agreed to fund this. So we would. This wouldn't impact taxation or anything along those lines. With our budget, we would take on this work if directed, do the risk assessment, and this would be fully funded by the province.
Okay.
Director Emery, would you like to speak to this at all?
Well, you know, and it's fine to do the study and everything as long as it's not going to turn into you know, declaring Martin Valley is uninhabitable. So, you know, if we can do it without, you know, I guess we already know the risk. Everyone already knows the risk, but if it's put on paper, is that going to change what happens out in the valley? Is the government going to try to do something, you know, and impose some kind of zoning or something like that? You know, as there is no zoning right now, then you know, everyone can do what they want. But in the future, maybe that's going to change if this study is done.
I don't know where the province may go. The board would be the decider on the CCRD side. So as a staff, I can't speak for the board and the board's decision making. But it would just help us get a bit more detailed understanding of the risk for our planning initiatives. And this is something, you know, like with flooding, we know they've got 200-year flood and those sort of things. So it allows us to bit of
so theoretically, you know, unless there was some kind of imminent danger that was exposed, then it shouldn't affect the valley at all.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
I hope
and no, then that's different, right?
But I mean, for future works,
Yeah.
if there is, depending on the results, it's something where it hopefully could be leveraged for future funding from the province. It's like, look, we've got this.
Yeah, so that's the other end of it. If there is some, risk, that's, what am I trying to say? If there was risk that something, inevitable is going to happen, and that's probably, true, that maybe there could be some remediation money to dig out the back to provide more protection for the houses or that kind of thing.
There'd be a really good foundation to ask.
Yeah.
For the province, because, going to them and saying, hey, we believe there's a risk versus here's a detailed study that you funded.
Yeah.
That says you have a problem.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
It's a really good foundation for a financial ask.
Because that would be the other, if everyone's here ready to go to work and now they can't because of, it's Crown land, well, that's ridiculous. That should never have happened. It was a waste of money getting everyone here in the first place. So I don't know, what got missed there somehow, but yeah.
There were some challenges for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, it's information is always good, and like you say, it can help in the future for funding if something is found that we can address, but there's still the risk of if the government decided somewhere down the road that we didn't want the houses rebuilt or sold or whatever, which would be detrimental to everyone out there.
I think that decision, and I'm not fully certain, they would look to us to make that decision.
Yeah, okay. So you're thinking that might be a board level decision that would. All right.
I think a similar sort of example, and I do not have the information in front of me, but you can Google it.
Yeah.
The district of Sechelt has a whole subdivision that has sinkholes.
Oh, yeah.
And the province has really kind of left that on the local government to really figure out.
Yeah. So it would be up to us to not if we're making decisions that I don't have a problem with doing the study.
I'm not fully certain. I just want to put a caveat there. Like, I haven't gone down there. We don't know what the answer is. So but it appears does appear that a lot of the decision making that they look to is local and zoning, land use, which is within the board's purview.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we have a recommended motion that the board authorize an expenditure of up to $124,000 to undertake the phased landslide risk assessment for Martin Valley, and that the expenditure be funded through the approved emergency management and climate readiness expenditure authorization form and associated emergency operations center task number.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Director Emery, seconded by Director Northeast. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, next we have the civic addressing. Is that where we're at? Civic addressing regulatory bylaws, or did I just skip a page? Nope, that's right. Okay, so with the establishment of Area A civic addressing, we'll need a regulatory bylaw for the service. So we have a report with two options for moving forward. Okay.
Ms. Chair, Madam Chair, Ms. Helmer is with us today. If you have any questions.
Oh, excellent. Director Emery, would you like Ms. Helmer to give us an overview of this report, or are you how are you feeling about where we're at with it?
She could give us an overview just to refresh our memories.
Okay. Ms. Helmer, welcome. Hello, good to see you.
Thank you.
Can you give us a brief overview of this report for civic addressing for Area A?
Yes, certainly, Chair. I'd be happy to. So when the service was in the process of being established, one of the things was that the regulatory bylaw would be brought back if the service was in fact adopted by the board. So that's why it's on the agenda today. There's two main options for how to go forward with establishing that bylaw. And it just outlines that the the addresses should be placed in a visible place so that people could see the address and make use of it once it's been assigned. So either that could be done at no cost, or it could be a fee assessed. The fee would not apply to the people now that are getting the initial addresses issued under the project, which is a part of the feasibility study that was agreed to for urban systems to provide. And there's grant funding that would be available to support that. It would only apply to people who would come in later on and want to get a civic address. So the choice before the board is, do you assess a fee or do you not assess a fee? Some local governments charge for it, others don't. If we look at the Bella Coola Valley service, typically the costs come in under the $1,000 administration cost. But there's the potential that there could be developments that occur either in Bella Coola Valley or also in the new service for electoral area A, whereby the costs could be a bigger number. And if you've granted it for free, then the service area would have to bear that cost. So the question is, should the service area as a whole pay for that cost, or should the person that asked for an address pay for that cost when somebody needs access to that service? And that would be, first of all, how does the board want to do that for area A? And if the board were to decide that there should be a fee assessed, the next question is, since it's not being charged for Bella Coola Valley, would you like to look at that for the valley, that if there's developments that occur and there's costs associated, they be paid for by the applicant rather than being paid for by the taxpayer? And happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions on the board?
Well, I think it should be paid for by the applicant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Couple $100.
Is it in? Is that it?
It's on page 2.
So yeah, we've got a couple of options there if we want to proceed. So I guess it would be option 2. Is that correct? Da-da-da.
Are you thinking of modifying the Bella Coola rate as well?
Yeah, I think that we could. I think it's not a bad idea for the cost of the service.
Well, it's just if the individual is subdividing or building a house and wanting a number, then they're spending money already on a house, so a little bit for their house number shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, they've already got their checkbook out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, why should everyone else pay for their house number?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just. Okay, so sorry, I'm a little muddled up with which one is which as far as options go.
Chair, option 2 is the one with the fees. Option 1 is with no fees. So the attachments would be the same. The version with no fees is attachment 1, and the version with fees is attachment 2.
Okay, so we are thinking of going with number 2 then. And unless the board has any questions, it looks like we're going for the one with fees for the user fee, or the new addressee pays the fee. So yeah, right now the motion that we would be going with is that the CCRD electoral area A civic addressing regulatory bylaw number 556 2026 attachment number 2 be selected for the purpose of readings. So that we'd do that motion first as a separate motion. So I'm looking for that motion. from the board?
Well, I'll make that motion.
Moved by Director Emery and a seconder. Seconded by Director Harstead. Further discussion there? All in favor? Great. The second motion is that the Central Coast Regional District Electoral Area A Civic Addressing Regulatory Bylaw 556 2026 be read a first, second, and third time. Was that, moved by Director Harstead, seconded by Director Emery, is that right? Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And that Central Coast Regional District Electoral Area A Civic Addressing Regulatory Bylaw 556 2026 be adopted. Moved by Director Emery, seconded by Director Harstead. Further discussion? All in favor? Great. Any opposed? No. And that, and that Central Coast Regional District Bella Coola Valley House Numbering Service Bylaw. Oh, so this is it for changing our bylaw. Do we have to open that up, or is that just like we can provide direction? Oh, for an amendment on 344. Can choose. So we could direct staff to return with an amendment to that. Okay. Does that sound good? Yep. Is that a question or a motion?
Yeah, a question actually, Chair.
Sure.
So with the Central Coast, with the Bella Coola Valley house numbering, we're talking about any future ones. Number one, was that correct, Melanie?
Yes.
And number two, the money, so usually in the budget, so a certain amount of money each year in the budget is for house numbering, so will that budget line then be zero for 2020 next year, or how would that work?
We would have to see how that would probably go, I'm guessing, because there's other things. Yeah, there's other things that come up other than just assigning new house numbering numbers, like things like if someone has an issue with their house numbering, and we have had things come up in the past, and it does end up costing more money than we allocate to that service. So I'm thinking that that budget line item would stay the same until let's say a surplus is developed, and we look at making cuts when that becomes, it's a possibility of that line item being lowered, but I can't imagine we could cut it right away. And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who's on the line here.
Just through the chair, Director Emery and Chair Kennedy are correct. It's through the policy, it'd be a minimum of $1,000. What it would do is you'd be bringing in you'd be bringing in revenue. Right now, it's kind of subsidized, that service, and now it would be something where it's a user pay system, and then that would offset those costs and help the service not. Depends on the ebb and where it's difficult is so many years it's been so quiet, but if there is development, it would pick up quite a bit, and then the user fees would help offset those costs so that it's not being pulling on taxes, that it's the user in the end pays.
Yeah.
So right now, Bella Coola Valley has $3,900 for surplus. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's what I was. Can't see where.
So either the motion can say that we had that you'd have to burn up that surplus somehow.
Right. So if we saw that we were making more than we were spending, then we could look at cutting that, and that could happen in 2027 with the new board. But I don't think that we can look at the 2026 budget and cut that now. but it would be
No,
up to the board.
It just seemed that there's a budget, yeah, it just seemed that there's a surplus, I should say,
Yeah,
from 2025 and, on 2026, 27 taxes, 26 taxes, that fee would have already been charged, right? Yeah. So if charges to the service after or in 27, and you put numbers to the cost of each numbering, you could have it so you have to buy the surplus first and then
yes,
Right, 'cause-
because otherwise, how would that surplus legally be allowed to?
or just leave the surplus there and use it if there is an overage on an individual house or something other than higher than the
Yeah, because I
200
think
bucks.
that if in a year we don't spend the money, that's, yeah, great. But I think in years previous, as soon as an issue starts with that service, that like $4,000, like it just disappears really quickly when we have planners and consultants and things like that who are dealing with those types of issues. So I think that surplus of 4,000, it might seem like a lot, but I think it's like really easy to spend that money when it comes to a house numbering issue. Like I don't know, like I think there was, I don't know if it was 2024 or 2023 when we did have a house numbering issue, and it very quickly cost thousands of dollars. So yeah, I don't know. My thinking is to, bring in bring the bylaw forward and look at changing it so we could direct staff to return with an amendment and to the fees and charges and to recover the costs associated with addresses. And then down the road, the next board can look at whether they want to be making cuts with the information in mind that like when that service is used, the money gets eaten up pretty quick. So do we want to bring that forward, or we could do nothing and leave it as it currently reads? Okay, I will continue on. Hearing no desire to bring it forward, I will continue along here. Okay, and thank you, Ms. Helmer, for running through the report with us and answering our questions. I really appreciate it. Next, we have the Bylaw 565 Bella Coola Valley Official Community Plan. So the OCP is back with feedback from agencies and for the second reading. How would we like to move forward with this beast that has given us so much trouble? First of all, maybe I'll ask, I don't know, Mr. Slingerland, would you like to run through it, just kind of give us a up to now update of where we're at here?
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the bylaw is back. It has gone out for referrals. There is a table on page that goes through the referral responses. We've gotten two, one from Vancouver Coastal Health, as well as the other from the Agricultural Land Commission. So that is, those referrals are attached. So really where we're at right now is if the board wants to move forward with second reading, as well as directing us to incorporate the comments, as well as to start preparing for the public hearing. One of the other elements that the board had requested was a potential OCP statement. This is not included in the report or the resolution. We got a draft in, so if it's something the board is happy with, I'm happy to read it out. We can include that in the resolution to incorporate that potential OCP statement. I'll read out the draft for you now. I did also distribute it by email. That the Board of Directors of the Central Coast Regional District respectfully acknowledge that the planning area of the Bella Coola Valley official community plan is within the traditional and unceded territory of the Newhawk Nation. The regional district is committed to advancing reconciliation efforts with the Newhawk. Through the development of the plan, the CCRD worked to engage Newhawk elected leaders, Sathalmek staff, and community members at large. The CCRD valued the conversations with the nation and appreciated the input and opinions received throughout the planning process. The regional district also acknowledges the concerns expressed by the Newhawk regarding how historic and ongoing land use, development, and legislative frameworks have impacted their territory and hindered the nation from fully and effectively managing their lands. The road to reconciliation requires long-standing commitment built on trust, respect, and seeking mutual understanding. The CCRD will continue to work closely with the Newhawk Nation to better understand their vision of the valley, support their interests, and work collaboratively on shared priorities.
Do you need a motion to include that?
Yeah, it would be if the board is interested, then we could add that resolution to include that statement. The board had requested a bit of a statement to kind of help frame the OCP and the relationship with the Newhawk. So the board has,
that's great. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we
Well done.
respond to the email.
I had a question. I had a question about the ALR response and comments to our OCP. Okay. So because they had a couple of comments about certain properties, for example, it said a new commercial designation, and with the PID number, there's no ALC application history on this property that would permit commercial uses in the ALR. I just wondered, and then there was another property that they talked about. So there was some specific property changes. So I just wonder how that happened or how that came about.
we're going to have to look at those and integrate them into the plan.
Oh,
And
okay.
we'll come back with the change. There'll be some changes.
And will you respond to the ALR about their comments?
We'll be working with them. We've already had several conversations with them.
Okay, yeah, I just wondered how that process was and what that was about.
Yeah, we're gonna have to navigate their concerns, as they do have, legislative authority over the lands in the ALR.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that won't impact the wording of like moving forward with our official community plan. So that just doesn't have to be straightened out first.
Well, but where it's dealt with is in the second part of the resolution that the board directs staff to amend the plan to incorporate the comments received from the external referrals. So we'll make a series of changes that will come back to the board for your review. And then we engage in the public hearing. For the most part, the ALR stuff is pretty minor. It's kind of a property here, property there that we'd be looking at tweaking, and Vancouver Coastal Health is very complementary, so.
Okay, any other questions or comments? I'm going to read out the recommended resolution that Bella Coola Valley Official Community Plan Bylaw number 565, 2026 be read a second time, and that the board directs staff to amend Bella Coola Valley Community Plan Bylaw number 565, 2026 to incorporate comments received from external referrals, and that the board direct administration to prepare a notification of a public hearing for the updated Bella Coola Valley Official Community Plan Bylaw 565, 2026 to be held on August 6th, 2026 at 9 a.m. and that the statement that was just read out by Mr. Slingerland be added to this motion, or to be added.
Be incorporated into the community plan.
Be incorporated into the community plan. Thank you. Okay, so I'm looking for that resolution.
Yep.
Director Hall, Director Northeast, any further discussion? All in favor? Great, thank you very much. Okay, so we've made our way to 13.1, a verbal report about a grant. So I have Ms. Bystad here. Good to see you again, and I will pass it over to you.
Thank you again, Chair Kennedy. This particular grant is called the Build Community Strong Fund. This is actually a new grant, not just for the board, but for the country. As part of the last federal budget, the Government of Canada established the Build Community Strong Fund, or the BCSF, with
Not muted.
We lost her.
Where?
On my end.
No, I still see you.
Oh, everybody's. Okay.
What's that? Sorry,
No,
Ms.
no
Weiss,
changing.
then
Silly
we-
question,
Are we
did the
good?
battery die on the Bluetooth?
We have Jamie in the front. We can't hear.
Okay, boardroom.
See that the lights go in, so it should be.
Okay, so maybe just a moment, Ms. Bizet. Are they? I can see.
Director Northeast, can you say something?
Yeah, I can say something. I can say a lot of things. What do you want me to say?
All right.
All right,
We tried one more thing.
looks like we have lost audio. So if you could give us just a second, we're gonna work through that tech issue.
Okay.
My apologies.
Okay, I was very
Okay.
confused. Okay, we'll take a little moment. I was like, what are they talking about? Oh, this is here we go.
That was just a practice run.
Yeah. You were doing a great job.
Joking around
Build
weekend.
community strong. Federal.
Okay.
Here we go.
We're back.
Are we
Okay, how's
back?
that?
We're back. Thank you for your patience.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Not that was a
Okay.
problem before.
Yeah.
Boardroom, are you good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay.
Okay. I will start from the top. That way, if anyone missed anything, it'll be good. So again, this is regarding the Build Community Strong Fund. This is a new grant, as I mentioned, not just for the board, but for the country. As part of the last federal budget, the Government of Canada established the Build Community Strong Fund, or the BCSF, with $51 billion for the next 10 years. There are 3 funding streams within the BCSF, so this is just a little bit of background. One of the streams is some federal provincial matching that I suspect will eventually go through UBCA. And in fact, the Strategic Priorities Fund may also flow through that in the future. The second stream is a community stream, and the third one is direct delivery. And this is the one that we are currently concerned with. The direct delivery stream has 2 substreams, just to complicate issues. That is an additional direct delivery projects, and then a local impact stream. PacificCan, which stands for the Pacific Economic Development Canada, is the agency responsible directly for the local impact stream, and Housing, Infrastructure and Communities Canada, with some help, with some local help from PacificCan, is delivering the direct delivery stream. So since the budget announcement, the government has worked very quickly to open this first intake for direct delivery. It's a very quick intake and will close on July 15. We have been told that decisions will be made within 90 days. Staff are recommending that we proceed with an application under the direct delivery stream. Just a little background note, the local impact stream has an intake deadline of September 15th, and we'll be coming back to the board with recommendations at a later time for that one. So we're just dealing with the direct delivery right now. So direct delivery is for projects that are regionally significant, climate adaptation, and community infrastructure. So we're recommending an application to support the Denny Island Waterworks through the direct delivery. Applications for new and distinct phases of projects that have already begun construction are eligible. And specifically, the direct delivery stream includes local infrastructure projects and drinking water assets, such as drinking water treatment facilities, pump stations, and local drinking water pipes are specifically mentioned, which is good news for our Denny Island Phase 2 water system improvement project. The reason we're able to move quickly on this application is that much of the work we did on the Strategic Priorities Fund application last fall is replicable for this application. We haven't heard from the SPF yet. I do expect to hear from them over the summer. In the meantime, however, applying for this increases our opportunities and allows us to add a couple items that were missing from the earlier application, such as a water treatment plant. Applications must be shovel-ready projects, of which this most certainly is, and that will provide us with some bonus scoring. Given how quickly this grant is moving, I'm still reviewing the numbers and how much we're able to apply for, which could potentially be up to 40% of the project, which under our current budget takes us to just over $1 million, but that number still needs to be finalized. So staff are recommending a resolution of support from the board to approve submitting an application to the BCSF Direct Delivery Funding Stream for the Denny Island Phase 2 water system improvement, and that on successful receipt of the grant funding, staff be authorized to execute the agreement and administer the program. Any questions?
Any questions? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so do we need a resolution to move forward then?
Yes, we are asking for a resolution.
Okay. Ooh, we've got a hand. Director Emery moves, and a seconder. Seconded by Director Harstead. Any further discussion? All in favor? Great. Okay, great. There we go. Thank you very much. And I'm still crossing my fingers on that strategic priority fund too. And it's good that, yeah, we've got lots going on. Very exciting times. Thank you. Thank you. So the last section of our regular meeting is correspondence. So for this, what we'll do is if there's something you want to bring out of correspondence, let me know the number of the item and we'll bring that out, and then I'll work through them in order. So I would like to bring out item 15.3, CVRD request for continued and enhanced funding for emergency management. Is there anything else anyone would like to bring out of correspondence for discussion or action?
Let's see.
So I'll start with 15.3, and if we need to go back to anything, that's totally fine. So this item is a letter to the Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness about, continuing enhanced funding. There's just an example from the Comox Valley Regional District about why this is important, and they are just looking for endorsements from other regional districts. Will Cole Hamilton is the chair of, or kind of, a co-chair in the chairs. He's the chair of the chairs in the province. And so this is one of the initiatives that's come out of that. So I would like to make a motion that we direct staff to send an endorsement to this letter. Would that, Mr. Slingerland, is that kind of adequate? Yeah. And I'm looking for a seconder. Seconded by Director Harstead. Further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Great. Anything else from correspondence that we want to discuss? Okie dokie. Great. So we are going to close this meeting. For the purpose of consideration of items that fall under section 90, subsections 1, C, and E. Can I get a seconder?
Yep.
Seconded by Director Northeast. We will move into in camera. So should we